What is up, guys? So I was actually comparing the OnePlus 7 Pro to the Huawei Y9 Prime. This is a $200 budget phone, and this is a $600 phone you can find on Amazon right now. So they're very different. Obviously, the OnePlus 7 Pro is better. I started not to make the video, but I actually think they're kind of interesting when you compare the cameras and the display and stuff like that. I think this has a couple benefits that you'd be surprised. Alright, so let's check out the hardware of the OnePlus 7 Pro. So as you can see, it is a glass and metal design with aluminum frame. So it's a very nice device. It feels very premium in the hand. You've got the triple camera setup, the flash. You got a power button on the side along with a little mute switch, and then you have the volume rockers, and then down below you have one single firing speaker, USB Type-C, and then your SIM tray. And then you have the full screen display with a curved glass, and we'll get to the curved glass in a minute. But on the Huawei Y9 Prime, it's a front glass in plastic design, and it has a really nice two-tone design. And when you look closer, it's got like a little texture to it. Now you can't feel it, but it's got like a look to it, and it looks really cool. So you have a triple camera setup on this one as well. A fingerprint scanner on the front. No fingerprint scanner built into the display. You do have your power button, volume rockers, and then you have nothing on the side. And then when you come down here, you actually keep a headphone jack, which I love, along with USB Type-C and the one speaker. Now you do have dual speakers on the OnePlus 7 Pro. It just uses this as a speaker. And then you do have a full screen display on the Y9 Prime as well, which is very cool. Now the difference between this one is that it's not a curved display. So basically the curved display makes the device feel more premium, but it's not actually useful when you're watching videos. It doesn't add anything to it. Now this, most people like the flat displays. I actually prefer the flat display over the curved display, but when you feel both phones in a hand, this does feel much more premium. It feels like a $1,000 device. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about the displays a little bit more. So on the OnePlus 7 Pro, you'll have a Fluid AMOLED display. It is a 6.67 inch display, a 1440p display with 516 for the PPI, and it is a 90 Hz display. That's what you're really paying that premium price for. It's extremely smooth when you're scrolling, and it just feels very smooth when you're playing 90 Hz games. I mean, once you do 90 Hz, it's really hard to go back. Now for this price point, I really like the IPS display on the Y9 Prime. It is a 1080p display, 391 for the PPI, and it's a 6.59 inch display, so it's pretty big, definitely for this price point. And when you're looking at both of them, you really can't tell the difference. As far as color wise, yeah, the AMOLED display is going to give off kind of darker colors, and you have that always on display function as well. But I really prefer watching videos on the Y9 Prime because it has that flat display, which your eyes kind of curve and kind of look at the curved display sometimes. Even though I've been using it for a while, you still kind of, it doesn't really add anything to the experience, but it doesn't bother me like a whole bunch. But I'll go ahead and show you guys in a video. Now when we're watching videos, like I said, you're gonna have to make that decision whether you prefer a flat display. But one of the things that's really cool is the 1440p display. You will be able to notice a higher resolution display when you compare it to a 1080p display. It's gonna look a little bit more sharper, and the colors on the OnePlus 7 Pro look a little bit better, but the screens on here are very close. I'm looking at them side by side, and they're almost identical even in 1080p. So that's why I really love the Y9 screen on here for $236. I just think it's very impressive. Now we're gonna go ahead and test out these speakers on both devices. So you do have dual speakers on the 7 Pro, only one speaker on the Y9 Prime. So let's go ahead and do the Y9 Prime first. So as you can see, not bad, pretty loud for most people. I think it sounds decent, pretty punchy for the bass and kicks. Let's do the OnePlus 7 Pro. So, you know, obviously the 7 Pro is going to be better since it's got 2 speakers. Pretty much it's just a more fuller sound. You can actually hear like the, you know, ringing of the 808s, and it's a little bit more thumpier, just basically more full. Now let's go ahead and run down some more specs. So this has Android 9.0. It should get Android 10 in the future. Now the OnePlus 7 Pro already has Android 10, and OnePlus is pretty good at putting out updates, which is very nice, on top of Oxygen OS. And then you have the Y9 Prime on top of Huawei Skin. Now I actually prefer Huawei Skin for a couple reasons. I like the way the icons look. I like the size of the icons by default without having to customize and change everything. And I like that you have Google Now built into the launcher. I do not like OnePlus's thing that they have over here. It's kind of a waste of space. I never really use it, and it's kind of useless. So I prefer Google Now to be on every Android device. Just to be able to slide over is very useful to get to other news and stuff. So that's one thing that the Y9 Prime has over the OnePlus 7 Pro. The Y9 Prime has a Kirin 710F processor with the Mali G51 GPU. You have micro SD support up to 1 terabyte, and you also have 64 gigabytes of storage and 4 gigabytes of RAM. So the one thing that this beats the 7 Pro is space. So you can actually add a terabyte of space on here. This is the 128 gigabyte version, Snapdragon 855, along with 6 gigs of RAM. So you can expand that storage on the Y9 Prime, but you can't expand the storage on the 7 Pro, so you're actually stuck with the 128 gigs. Now, you do have the Adreno 640, so you will be able to play games, of course, on high on the 7 Pro. So if you're a gamer, this is an obvious win for you to be able to play everything maxed out, no problem. So let's go ahead and run a speed test just to see how it performs in the real world. So let's go ahead and open up Instagram. 3, 2, 1. You can see 7 Pro faster. Let's go ahead and open up YouTube. 3, 2, 1. And the Y9 Prime actually beat it there. Let's go ahead and try Spotify. 3, 2, 1. 7 Pro. Alright, let's go ahead and try a game. Call of Duty Mobile. 3, 2, 1. So again, not that too much of a difference, as you can see with the Y9 Prime. As you can see, it was right behind it, so it wasn't like it was lagging super bad. So I think for 236, 600, the Y9 Prime is definitely an awesome device. Now, the most interesting thing about this comparison, from what I found, is that the cameras aren't too much off from each other, from the OnePlus 7 Pro and the Y9 Prime. I didn't see too much of a difference until you get to the front facing, but let's just go ahead and read off these specs real quick. So for the OnePlus 7 Pro, you have a 48 megapixel wide, an 8 megapixel telephoto, and a 16 megapixel ultra wide. So you can film maxed out 2160p. You do have a 16 megapixel pop-up camera that shoots in 1080p. Now for the Y9 Prime, you have a 16 megapixel wide and an 8 megapixel ultra wide. And you have a 2 megapixel depth sensor. And you also have a 16 megapixel front-facing pop-up camera that shoots in 1080p. And this one maxes out at 1080p on the back as well. Now, as you can see from these samples, as you can see, the OnePlus 7 Pro puts like an orange tint on it. I don't know if you guys can see through the camera, but the Y9 Prime color accuracy is actually pretty good, and it's actually better. I prefer the color accuracy better. It's a little bit more warmer and true to life. The OnePlus 7 Pro kind of like makes everything brighter, and then it adds like kind of like a tint to it. But as you can see, very, very nice for both, which I was expecting these cameras to be so close. Now here's another example of the color accuracy. When I zoom in, as you can see, I don't know if the camera's going to do it justice. You're going to take my word for it, but as you can see, again, it puts like a little orange tint on it, and as you can see, this is more true to life. So I just really like the Y9 Prime's camera. Turn it up so you can see it better. As you can see, the colors are more true to life. This kind of makes things brighter, and it puts like a weird tint, like an orange tint to it, which I don't like. Now, when we talk about selfies, the Y9 Prime kind of struggles a little bit in this area. As you can see, the OnePlus 7 Pro looks much, much better, focuses better, and you know, it blurred everything out in the background. My skin tone is more accurate, and on the Y9 Prime it's a little bit more washed out. Didn't blur out as good as the OnePlus 7 Pro, so I have to give it credit there. Now you do have NFC on the OnePlus 7 Pro, and you are missing that on the Y9 Prime. So you have USB Type-C on both of them. For the fingerprint scanner, now it doesn't have the fancy in-display fingerprint scanner, the Y9 Prime, but the back fingerprint scanner works really great. The reason why a lot of people like the front one is, so as you can see, I have to lift the device to wake it, you know, to use the fingerprint scanner. A lot of people just like, you know, when you're sitting on flat on the desk, you just want to turn it on, you know, hit the thing. This one you have to pick up, so you know, it's a little, you know, whatever, but as far as getting into the device, they're both extremely fast. The physical fingerprint scanner is very fast. The OnePlus 7 Pro still has the fastest fingerprint scanner on any smartphone from what I've seen. And as far as unlocking with the face unlock, you actually can't do that on the Y9 Prime. They don't allow you to unlock it with your face. On the OnePlus 7 Pro, you can do that, and it works really good. It is a little bit faster, but as you can see, I'm looking at it behind the camera. But so you do have that option on here as well, which is nice. I don't know if you can do a hack to get that on here, or they just don't want you to do that because of, you know, they don't know how many pop-ups is really rated. They don't want you popping it up that much, but I understand it is a budget phone. Now both phones actually have a 4,000 milliamp battery, and you do have fast charging at 30 watts on the OnePlus 7 Pro, which is very fast, very awesome. There is no fast charging listed on the Y9 Prime, but the battery life lasts really long on here, almost a day and a half on both these devices. Unless you're doing heavy stuff on the OnePlus 7 Pro, it's really hard for me to kill this device in one day, since I'm kind of a light user. I'm usually on applications, social media or whatever, watching videos. I'm usually not gaming super hard on this device, so maybe that's why. But that warp charge is extremely fast. It charges up very fast. This has great battery life as well for its price range. So there we have it, two very nice smartphones. I was surprised that the cameras were so close on these devices, especially this one being a premium smartphone. So what do you guys think? I really like the Y9 Prime. I think it's definitely up there with the Bolden one as one of the best budget smartphones. So thanks for watching this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one.